your goofy ass. Ignoring all the red flags, you ignoring all this information online about getting married, and still you want to get married because you love this woman. She sucks your pee-pee, she makes you feel good, and damn, you think if you marry this woman, you're going to get consistent sex and loyalty, and she's going to make your life better. She's going to elevate your life. Wrong. Wrong. This woman's going to waste your time, money, and energy. This woman's only marrying you because she's going to gain so much out of divorcing you. If you still want to get married after watching these clips, nigga, let's watch these videos.
Seek validation from other men. As a divorce lawyer, I can tell you this.
This is the crazy divorce lawyer I've been telling. We always watch her videos, bro. She's going to prove to you why getting married is a dumbass idea.
Dynamic destroys marriages more often than people realize. Because when a man values the approval of his brotherhood more than the well-being of his wife, the family always loses. Too many men are...
Okay, she's wrong again. Men don't really give a shit about what others think. Most men are leaders. By the time a man gets married, he's comfortable with who he is. He knows who he is as a man, and he ain't gonna be looking for validation from other men.
Concerned with what their friends think than how their wives feel. They'll downplay their marriage to look cool. They'll cheat because their boys cheer them on. They'll spend money recklessly because a group makes it a competition. The bond of brotherhood becomes more important than the vows they made. I've seen wives beg their husbands to set boundaries only to hear, "But he's my best friend," as if a friendship is a free pass to sabotage a marriage. I've seen men avoid responsibility at home because they're terrified of being called whipped or soft. So instead of showing up for their family, they show off for the guys. And who pays for it? The woman who is left carrying the load he abandoned. The strongest men I've seen...
Women are lazy as hell, and women never carry the load of a marriage. That's the men. Because you expect the man to be working all these hours to provide or protect for you. You got men who are working over 12-hour days just to provide for an ungrateful woman who's going to be complaining about every little thing once he gets home. Women do not carry the load of anything.
Ones who live for the approval of other men. They're the ones confident enough to prioritize their home over the crowd. They don't need validation from the locker room. Their validation comes from leading with integrity. But too many men treat their marriages like background noise. They protect their reputation with their friends more than they protect their relationship with their wife. And when the marriage finally falls apart, those same brothers disappear. The men he lived to impress don't show up in court. They don't help raise the children. They don't pay the bills. He sacrificed his family for validation that meant nothing. I tell my clients this often. Pay attention to who your man listens to. If his friend's opinion carry more weight than your needs, that's not a partnership. That's a ticking time bomb. Because here's the reality. Men seeking validation from men will always cost women. Until a man learns that being a good husband and father matters more than being one of the guys, the cycle keeps repeating. At the end of the day, a ring doesn't break a brotherhood, but a brotherhood can break a marriage. You have so much value in simply being born a woman. As a divorce lawyer, I can tell you this.
Wrong. If that was the case, if you had so much value, old husbands wouldn't be cheating on their old ass wives with these hot young women. If that was the case.
Your name, your presence, your support, and your reputation are assets. Never allow a man to take up that space for free. Here's what I mean. When a woman walks into a room with a man, she elevates him. Her beauty, her intelligence, her kindness, her connection.
That is bullshit, because when most guys, when they walk in the room with their wives are ugly as hell. So all these guys are looking at this nigga like he's crazy. Like, he married that? Ugh, you know, like that is... Most women do not elevate a man's life. Most women are just an added bill and stress to a man's life. This woman's lying to these women. And this is why marriages fail, because you got these dumbass women who think like this, thinking they bring so much value to a man's life, but they do. It's the complete opposite. You know, you bring problems into a man's life, added stress, baggage. That's not elevating a man's life whatsoever.
They all add weight to his image. People take him more seriously just because she's standing next to him. And too often, women hand over that power without realizing it's worth something.
There are guys, when they see a dude with his wife and she's ugly as hell, they're like, I do not want that nigga's life at all. Women do not elevate a man's life at all. And when you see guys, right, and they be walking with their wife, you could tell that he can't stand her ass. He's like, that's my old lady, yeah. He can't stand her ass. He fucked up and married the wrong woman, and now he's stuck with her ass. It's cheaper to keep her. Shit. Like, come on now.
I've seen it in marriages. A wife builds her husband's reputation by hosting, networking, smoothing over conflicts, holding the family together, and
No, yeah. They host, right? They host a network by sucking other dudes off and shit, right? Sleeping around and cheated on the husband. That's how they host. All this positive shit. No, the women do none of this in a marriage at all.
making him look more stable and respectable than he really is. She invests years of unpaid labor into his success. And then when the marriage
Keyword unpaid labor. When you marry these ungrateful ass women, they feel like they're doing all this is labor to them. Taking care of the household, taking care of the kids, making sure the house is clean, making sure you are good as a man, making sure you are good as a husband. This is labor to these women. This is why marriage is pointless, because at the end of the day, these women feel like it's just work, unpaid labor. Make it make sense.
ends, she's shocked to realize she gave away all that value for nothing in return. Your social currency is real currency.
I hate this woman's shirt. You can tell that she don't got no man in her life, because if she had a man, he'd be to take that shit off. You look like you about to go to a costume party. That shirt is ugly. I'm sorry. If I ever had a lawyer like this, I wouldn't want her representing me with that damn shirt, because she looks like she's going. She looked like she went to, right before she went to the office, she looked like she went to Party City and got a costume and a blazer and said, "This is me." Mm-mm.
The wrong man will treat you like free PR. He'll want the shine you bring without ever honoring the cost. He'll let you build him up while he tears you down in private. He'll use your presence to polish his image while giving you nothing to stand on yourself. That's why I tell women, never allow a man to take up your space for free. If he's in your life, he should be adding to it, not just collecting from it. He should be.
That's the main reason women are, that's the only way they would get married, is if you're adding to their life. Yeah, marriage is a fucking joke.
Protecting your reputation, expanding your opportunities, multiplying your peace. Otherwise, he's not a partner. He's a liability disguised as company. Businesses pay for.
Majority of women are liabilities. They're dead weight in marriages. They don't like to fuck. They don't like to do any work in the house. They would like to sit on their ass, gain all this fucking weight, and bring no value to a man's life. Marriage is a freaking joke. Marriage is pointless to a man. Look at, yeah, that's her. Yeah, that's her profile picture on a dating app. She's mad that she's 40 fucking years old, still can't get no man. She's been letting all these dudes have fun with her, and still she ain't met a dude who accepts her in her Party City costume. And she's trying to tell these women all these issues in marriages and stuff. I get it. She's a divorce lawyer, but she is the reason why all these marriages are failing. Putting all this crap into these women's head. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that face.
Marketing. Politicians pay for image management. Celebrities pay for PR. Yet women give away those same services in relationships every single day, and they're told it's just love. No, it's labor, and it should be respected as such. Your presence is valuable. Your network is valuable. Your energy is valuable. And the man who deserves you will never.
Fellas, when you get married, don't let your wife tell you this bullshit about she want to be a stay-at-home mom. When a woman's a stay-at-home mom for a couple of years, that's going to be a bigger payout to her in the divorce, because she was out of the workforce for so many years. You're going to have to continue to pay for her lifestyle because she was a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home wife. Don't fall for that shit. Have her ass work.
Those things as free perks. He'll recognize your currency and protect it the way he would his own. So stop letting anyone take up your space for free, because the right partner doesn't just benefit from your value, he adds to it. My neighbor's husband dropped dead in the laundry room, and she has never been happier. As a divorce lawyer, I can tell you that she's not alone in that feeling. There are so many married women quietly dreaming of becoming widows, not because they're cruel, not because they don't believe in love, but because death in their minds feels like the only.
This is sad. But that's how it is. Let's just say I know someone who was, when COVID happened, I don't want to put their business out. When COVID happened, right? Let's say that I know of someone. So her husband is a successful man, right? I didn't sleep with this woman. I just know her, right? So her husband, during COVID, he was in a coma, right? So he was in a coma, right? And when he was in a coma for a while, right? The wife wanted to hurry up and pull the plug on the dude, right? On her husband, right? She wanted to pull the plug, but his parents stepped in and was like, no, no, just we've been praying and we think he's gonna get through this. I assume that the reason she wanted to pull the plug on her husband in COVID was one, she never liked this dude. He was not her first choice. Two, I guarantee you she had a life insurance policy on that dude. And that was her exit right there. Oh, he's in a coma for COVID. He survived. He survived. But that stuck with me that she was ready to pull the plug on her husband because he was in a coma.
Escape from a miserable marriage. It sounds shocking, but I've seen it up close. Women sitting in my office whispering that they wish their husband had just disappeared because leaving him feels harder than losing him. And that's the tragedy. Marriage should be the place where you feel safest, but for so many women, it's the cage they want out of. A lot
This
of
is
women
why marriage is a joke, because marriage is such a joke because it's all these damn women complaining and they bring no value to a man's life. All this complaining, wishing that you were dead, wishing that you would disappear. Marriages don't benefit to a man whatsoever. And y'all keep on falling for this.
stay because divorce feels like war. It's expensive, it's exhausting, it's public. But widowhood is sympathy. Widowhood is clean. Widowhood doesn't come with depositions, attorneys' fees, or custody battles. And when women start fantasizing about widowhood, what they're really saying is, I don't see any other way out. I've had clients admit that when their husband travels, they hope for bad news instead of a safe return. Do you know how broken a marriage has to be for death to sound like freedom? That's not love, that's survival. The saddest part is these women are often the same ones who were told marriage was the ultimate prize. They did everything right. They built a home, raised the children, managed the details, and still ended up in a life they wanted out of. And instead of support, they're told to keep enduring, that suffering is just part of the marriage. But here's what I tell my clients. You don't have to wait for death to be free. You don't have to daydream about widowhood just to feel peace. Divorce, as painful as it is still an option. It's not glamorous, it's not easy, but it's a way to reclaim your life while you're still alive. Some women secretly dream of becoming widows, but what they really dream of is freedom, and you don't have to wait for a tragedy in the laundry room to finally claim it. Do you know what keeps a lot of women in mediocre relationships? A myth. The myth of scarcity. As a divorce lawyer, I see it all the time. Women settling for less, not because they don't know what they deserve, but because somewhere along the way they were told that good men are like limited edition handbags. Rare, hard to find, and if you don't grab one now, even if it's scuffed and overpriced, someone else will. That belief is not only false, it's dangerous. Because when you believe that there are no good men left, you start lowering your standards just to keep someone. Anyone. You stay with the guy who's emotionally lazy, the one who can't communicate unless he's cornered, the one who treats love like a reward you have to earn instead of something you're already worthy of. You stay because you think, at least he's not cheating.
Why do you guys want to get married? Why? Why?
Or at least he comes home at night. Or worse, maybe this is just how men are. And that mindset turns into a slow erosion of your joy, your goals, your self-respect. Scarcity is a strategy. It's been used for...
It's sad because these women think they're settling for a guy, but women never take the time to think that men are settling for their old ass with their old ass eggs. They're old. They can't do shit that they used to do. Bro, let me tell you, I was banging this 32-year-old, right? 32-year-old girl. She was skinny, looked like she was fit. I told her to get into this position. I think it was like reverse cowgirl. She was like, "Oh no, daddy, I can't do that. I got arthritis in my knees." What? Arthritis in your knees? Women, I'm just like, but this is one of my reasons why I try not to be banging chicks over 30. Because they can't do a simple task like that in the bedroom. Arthritis in your knees that means she probably never worked out throughout her teens. Never. But she was skinny, so I'm thinking like, I don't know, just hearing that, I just feel like most women do not realize that men are settling for them, especially at their old ass age. And this woman's just giving, she has a following, so these women are listening to her, so it is what it is.
countries to control women, to convince us that our worth is in our ability to keep a man and not in our ability to choose the right one. And it's why you'll see women gaslight themselves into staying. We rewrite red flags into quirks. We shrink our needs to appear easygoing. We romanticize crumbs because we're scared we'll never get the cake. The problem isn't that there are no good men. The problem is that we were taught to believe that we don't deserve to wait for them. That if he's decent, that's enough. Stop operating from fear and start choosing from freedom.
Fellas, if y'all want to get married, that's your life. But guys, please think long and hard before you get married, because a lot is at stake for you guys, and most of you guys will lose when you give all this power to this woman when you marry her, because she has so much to gain when she divorces you. So let me know what y'all think in the comments, right? I'll holler at y'all. Peace.